Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about global warming. And for all those climate change deniers out here, I'm going to try to change your mind. So global warming is happening, and here are the facts. I'm going to start out by talking about a man named Carl Sagan, who was one of the science community's most cherished astronomers. He wrote a piece about how the Earth looked from the orbit of Saturn. He called it the pale blue dot. Here's a picture of that image. In his piece, he talked about how everything seemed insignificant from that far out in space. He said, "Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all of this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. It is up to us. It's been said that astronomy is humbling, and I might add a character-building experience. To my mind, there is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly and compassionately with one another, and to preserve and cherish that pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known." So here are the common arguments against climate change. It's a natural occurrence and humans aren't to blame. It won't happen in our lifetime. And there's nothing we can do to stop it, so why should we worry now? I'm going to tackle all three of these arguments and show you how climate change needs to be considered a very important topic. So the first argument is it's a natural occurrence and humans aren't to blame. It is true that climate change does happen naturally. However, humans have accelerated climate change by emitting CO2 gas into the atmosphere, which causes a greenhouse effect. The chart displayed is an EPA projected atmospheric greenhouse gas chart. It basically will show where the greenhouse gas levels will be within the next 100 years. So here's the next argument. It won't happen in our lifetime. It's happening now. It's true that the most severe impacts of climate change won't happen within our lifetime, but what do we do about our future generations? What about our children? We're looking at a 1 to 4 foot sea level rise. Well, it doesn't sound like much, but 1 to 4 feet can flood coastal cities. You're talking about a 3 to 12 degree increase in temperature worldwide. Well, again, it doesn't sound like much, but if you increase the world temperature by that much, you're going to have extremely brutally hot summers and very frigid cold winters. Here's another chart from the EPA that is the temperature projection for the next 100 years. The top two maps show the most extreme conditions. The bottom two show the least conditions based on higher emissions and lower emission standards. So as you can see with the higher emission standards, it's going to be hot. Lower, still going to be hot, but still bearable, I guess. Either way, it's going to get warm. Here's another chart of the projected changes in sea level rise globally. Right now we're in the green area, which is satellite data that we're accumulating from space. The projection shows a 1 to 4 foot sea level rise worldwide, which will flood all coastal cities. So the next argument would be, there's nothing we can do to stop it, so why worry? Well, if we worry about it now, we can help prevent the worst from happening. We can promote clean energy initiatives to fight our dependence on fossil fuels. We can promote a global awareness for climate change so future generations won't have to deal with it in later years. We can take steps now to prepare for the worst case scenario, which will limit the future damages to the global infrastructure. This means start moving our populations inland. Let's start protecting our farmland. Let's start protecting our coastal cities with barriers and seawalls. So to all those climate change deniers, we need to really focus, and we need to acknowledge the fact that this is happening. We need to urge our leaders to pass extensive legislation so we can tackle the problems concerning climate change. We can't deny the science that goes behind it. We have the smartest men and women on Earth thinking about how to solve this problem. And we need to prepare for our future and future generations so that we have a nice home for mankind. Thank you very much.